Mastering Your Inner World, Escaping the Grip of Emotions, written and published by Audiobooks. Chapter 1. Awareness. Awareness is the foundation of mastering your inner world. It's the first step in escaping the grip of your emotions. But what does awareness really mean? At its core, awareness is about being present and paying attention to what's happening inside you, your thoughts, feelings, and reactions, without getting swept away by them. Imagine you're in a situation where someone says something that upsets you. In that moment, your emotions might flare up, and you might feel anger or sadness rising inside you. If you're not aware, these emotions can quickly take control, leading you to react impulsively. You might say something you don't mean, or do something you'll regret later. But if you're aware, you can catch that emotion as it starts to bubble up. You can recognize it for what it is, just a feeling, not a fact, and give yourself a moment to breathe before responding. Awareness is like turning on the lights in a dark room. Without it, you stumble around, bumping into things, not really knowing where you're going. But when you switch on the light of awareness, you can see everything more clearly. You understand why you're feeling a certain way, and you can choose how to respond rather than just reacting automatically. Developing awareness takes practice, but it's worth it. One simple way to start is by checking in with yourself throughout the day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now, and what thoughts are running through my mind? You don't have to judge or change anything, just notice. Over time, this practice will help you become more attuned to your inner world. Another helpful tool is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you're mindful, you notice your thoughts and emotions as they arise, but you don't get carried away by them. For example, if you're feeling stressed, instead of letting that stress take over, you might pause, take a deep breath, and simply observe the feeling. You might notice that your chest is tight or your mind is racing. Just acknowledging these sensations can help you feel more grounded and less overwhelmed. Awareness also involves understanding your emotional triggers. Triggers are situations, people, or memories that provoke strong emotional reactions in you. Everyone has different triggers, and they can sometimes catch you off guard. By becoming more aware of your triggers, you can start to anticipate them and prepare yourself to respond more calmly. For instance, if you know that traffic makes you anxious, you can practice deep breathing or listen to calming music while you drive. The beauty of awareness is that it gives you space between your emotions and your actions. It allows you to pause, reflect, and choose how you want to respond rather than being controlled by your feelings. This space is where your true power lies. It's the difference between reacting in the heat of the moment and responding with intention and clarity. As you cultivate awareness, you might also start to notice patterns in your thoughts and emotions. Maybe you realize that you often feel anxious before big meetings, or that you get irritated when you're tired. Recognizing these patterns can help you address the root causes of your emotions. You might decide to get more rest, practice relaxation techniques, or even change how you approach certain situations. Chapter 2. Emotional Triggers. Emotional triggers are like hidden buttons inside us that, when pressed, can send our emotions into overdrive. These triggers can turn a calm and peaceful moment into a whirlwind of intense feelings, often before we even realize what's happening. Understanding your emotional triggers is a key part of mastering your inner world, because once you know what sets you off, you can start to manage your reactions more effectively. So, what exactly is an emotional trigger? It's anything, an event, a word, a person, or even a memory that causes a strong emotional reaction. For example, maybe someone criticizes you at work and you instantly feel defensive or upset. Or perhaps you see a certain type of news story and it fills you with anxiety or anger. These reactions might seem automatic, but they often have deep roots in our past experiences, beliefs, or unresolved emotions. Recognizing your triggers is the first step in diffusing them. Imagine you're walking through a forest and every so often you trip over a root sticking out of the ground. Each time you fall, you're caught off guard. But if you start to notice where the roots are, you can step over them instead of tripping. In the same way, by identifying your emotional triggers, you can learn to navigate situations that would normally throw you off balance. Think about a time when you had a strong emotional reaction. Maybe you felt a surge of anger, a wave of sadness, or a rush of anxiety. What was happening in that moment? Who were you with? What was being said? These are clues to help you uncover your triggers. It's like being a detective, piecing together the puzzle of your emotional responses. Sometimes, triggers are linked to past experiences. For instance, if you grew up feeling ignored or unimportant, you might be especially sensitive to situations where you feel overlooked or dismissed. Even a small comment might trigger a big emotional response because it touches on that old wound. By becoming aware of these connections, you can start to heal and change how you respond. It's important to remember that triggers are not a sign of weakness. Everyone has them, they're part of being human. The goal isn't to eliminate them completely, but to understand them and learn how to manage your reactions. This is where mindfulness can be incredibly helpful. When you notice a trigger starting to set you off, pause for a moment, take a deep breath. Instead of reacting immediately, try to observe what's happening inside you. What thoughts are racing through your mind? What physical sensations are you experiencing? This pause gives you the chance to choose how you want to respond, rather than just reacting on autopilot. Another helpful approach is to reframe the situation. Let's say someone makes a critical comment and your immediate reaction is to feel hurt or angry. Instead of letting those feelings take over, you might try to reframe the comment in a more neutral or positive light. Maybe the person didn't mean to be hurtful, they were just expressing their opinion. Or perhaps there's some constructive feedback in their words that you can use to improve. Reframing doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, but it can help you see the situation from a different perspective, which can reduce the intensity of your emotional response. It's also okay to set boundaries with people or situations that consistently trigger you. If you know that certain conversations or environments are likely to upset you, it's perfectly fine to protect your emotional well-being by avoiding them when possible. This isn't about running away from your triggers, but rather about taking care of yourself while you work on becoming less reactive. As you get better at recognizing and managing your triggers, you might notice that your emotional reactions become less intense and less frequent. The things that used to set you off might not have the same power over you anymore. This doesn't mean you'll never feel triggered again, but when it does happen, you'll be better equipped to handle it. Over time, understanding your emotional triggers can lead to deeper self-awareness and personal growth. You might discover things about yourself that you weren't fully aware of before, fears, insecurities, or unresolved issues that have been influencing your reactions. This awareness can be the first step in healing those deeper wounds and freeing yourself from the grip of your triggers. Chapter 3. The Power of Thoughts. Our thoughts are incredibly powerful. They shape how we see the world, influence our emotions, and even affect our actions. The way we think can either lift us up or pull us down. Understanding the power of your thoughts is essential for mastering your inner world because it allows you to take control of your mind and, ultimately, your life. Think about how you start your day. If you wake up thinking, "Today is going to be a tough day," you're more likely to notice all the things that go wrong. Maybe you spill your coffee, hit traffic on the way to work, or have a difficult conversation with a colleague. Each of these events seems to confirm your belief that it's a tough day. On the other hand, if you wake up thinking, "Today is a new opportunity," you might approach the day with a more positive attitude. You'll be more likely to notice the small joys, like a kind word from a friend or a beautiful sunrise. Your thoughts set the tone for how you experience the world. Our minds are constantly filled with thoughts, often running on autopilot. These thoughts can be so automatic that we don't even realize how much they're influencing us. If you're not aware of your thoughts, they can easily take control, leading to negative patterns that keep you stuck. But when you become aware of your thoughts, you can start to challenge and change them. One way to understand the power of thoughts is to think of them like seeds. The thoughts you plant in your mind will grow into the experiences you have. If you plant seeds of negativity, thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "nothing ever goes my way," you'll likely experience more negativity in your life. But if you plant seeds of positivity, thoughts like, "I can handle this," or "there's always something to be grateful for," you'll start to see more positive experiences unfold. This doesn't mean you should ignore difficult or negative thoughts. It's natural to have them, and they can be important signals that something needs attention in your life. but it does mean that you have the power to choose how much influence those thoughts have over you. Instead of letting negative thoughts take root and grow, you can acknowledge them, challenge them, and replace them with more empowering ones. For example, let's say you're faced with a challenge at work. Your first thought might be, "I can't do this, it's too hard." This thought might make you feel anxious or defeated, which in turn might affect how you approach the task. But if you challenge that thought and replace it with something more positive, like, "This is a challenge, but I can figure it out," you're more likely to feel motivated and confident. The task itself hasn't changed, but your mindset has, and that makes all the difference. Another important aspect of the power of thoughts is the concept of self-talk, the way you talk to yourself in your mind. Self-talk can be either positive or negative, and it has a huge impact on your self-esteem and overall well-being. If your self-talk is constantly critical or harsh, you might start to believe that you're not capable or worthy. But if your self-talk is kind and encouraging, you'll build a stronger sense of self-worth and confidence. Start paying attention to your self-talk. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, like, "I always mess up," try to reframe it in a more positive light. You might say to yourself, "I'm still learning, and it's okay to make mistakes." This simple shift can help you break free from negative thinking patterns and develop a more positive and supportive relationship with yourself. The power of thoughts also extends to how you perceive the world around you. Your thoughts act as a filter, shaping how you interpret events and interactions. If you have a negative mindset, you might see the world as a hostile or unfriendly place. But if you cultivate a more positive mindset, you're more likely to see opportunities, kindness, and beauty in your everyday life. One way to cultivate a positive mindset is through gratitude. Gratitude is the practice of focusing on the good things in your life, no matter how small. When you make a habit of noticing and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, you start to shift your thinking in a more positive direction. Over time, this can lead to a more optimistic and resilient outlook. It's also important to be mindful of the thoughts you allow into your mind from external sources, like the media, social media, or the people around you. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it's easy for that negativity to seep into your own thinking. Protecting your mind from toxic influences and seeking out positive, uplifting content can help you maintain a healthier mental state. Chapter 4. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful practice that helps you stay connected to the present moment. In a world where our minds are often racing from one thought to the next, mindfulness invites us to slow down, breathe, and truly experience life as it unfolds. It's about being fully aware of what's happening right now, whether it's your thoughts, your emotions, or the world around you, without getting lost in it. At its core, mindfulness is simply paying attention. It's about noticing the little things that often go unnoticed. For example, when you're drinking a cup of tea, mindfulness means really tasting the tea, feeling the warmth of the cup in your hands, and savoring the moment. It's about being present, rather than letting your mind wander to your to-do list or a past conversation. One of the great benefits of mindfulness is that it helps you break free from the autopilot mode we so often find ourselves in. Have you ever driven somewhere and realized you hardly remember the journey because you were lost in thought? Or maybe you've eaten a meal so quickly that you barely tasted the food. These are examples of living on autopilot, where we go through the motions without fully experiencing life. Mindfulness helps you step out of autopilot and back into the present moment. It allows you to live more fully and appreciate the richness of each experience. Whether you're walking, eating, or even just sitting quietly, mindfulness encourages you to engage with your senses and notice the world around you. Practicing mindfulness doesn't require any special equipment or a lot of time. You can bring mindfulness into your everyday life in simple ways. For example, you might start by focusing on your breath. Just take a few moments to notice your breathing, how it feels as the air enters and leaves your body. You don't need to change anything about your breath, simply observe it. This small act of paying attention to your breath can help anchor you in the present moment. Another way to practice mindfulness is through mindful listening. The next time someone is talking to you, try to listen fully without planning your response or getting distracted by your own thoughts. Just be present and really hear what the other person is saying. This kind of deep listening can improve your relationships and help you connect more meaningfully with others. Mindfulness is also a valuable tool for managing stress and emotions. When you're mindful, you're more aware of your thoughts and feelings as they arise. This awareness gives you the opportunity to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. For example, if you're feeling stressed, mindfulness can help you recognize the early signs of stress, like tension in your shoulders or a racing mind, and take steps to calm yourself before the stress escalates. One common misconception about mindfulness is that it's about emptying your mind or getting rid of your thoughts. But mindfulness isn't about stopping thoughts, it's about noticing them without getting caught up in them. Imagine your thoughts are like clouds passing across the sky. You can watch them come and go without being swept away by them. This simple shift in perspective can help you feel more grounded and less overwhelmed by the ups and downs of life. Mindfulness can be especially helpful in dealing with difficult emotions. When you're feeling angry, sad, or anxious, it's easy to get lost in those emotions and let them take control. But mindfulness allows you to step back and observe your emotions without being consumed by them. You might notice, I'm feeling really angry right now, and instead of reacting immediately, you can give yourself a moment to pause and breathe. This creates space for you to choose a more thoughtful response. Over time, regular mindfulness practice can lead to greater emotional resilience. You become better at handling life's challenges because you're more in tune with your inner world. You learn to accept your emotions as they are, without judgment, and this acceptance can bring a sense of peace and balance to your life. Mindfulness isn't just about the mind, it also involves being aware of your body. Many mindfulness practices, like body scans or mindful movement, help you reconnect with your physical self. For example, during a body scan, you might start at your toes and slowly move your attention up through your body, noticing any areas of tension or discomfort. This practice can help you release physical stress and become more attuned to your body's needs. Chapter 5: Emotional Intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a vital skill that helps you understand and manage your own emotions while also recognizing and influencing the emotions of others. It's about being in tune with what you're feeling and why, and using that understanding to build better relationships and make thoughtful decisions. Developing emotional intelligence can significantly improve your personal and professional life, making you more empathetic, communicative, and resilient. At its heart, emotional intelligence is about self-awareness. Self-awareness means knowing what emotions you're experiencing and understanding how those emotions affect your thoughts and actions. For example, if you're feeling frustrated at work, being self-aware means recognizing that frustration and understanding that it might be impacting your mood and interactions with colleagues. By acknowledging your feelings, you can take steps to address them rather than letting them drive your behavior unconsciously. Another important aspect of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. This is the ability to manage your emotions in a healthy and constructive way. When you're emotionally intelligent, you can control your impulses, stay calm under pressure, and avoid letting your emotions dictate your actions. For instance, if you're angry during a meeting, self-regulation helps you pause, take a deep breath, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This skill can help you handle difficult situations with greater ease and maintain positive relationships. Empathy is a key component of emotional intelligence as well. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's not just about feeling sorry for someone, it's about truly putting yourself in their shoes and seeing the world from their perspective. For example, if a friend is going through a tough time, empathy allows you to offer support and comfort because you genuinely understand how they're feeling. Empathy helps build strong connections with others and fosters a sense of trust and understanding. Effective communication is another crucial element of emotional intelligence. It involves not only expressing your own feelings clearly and assertively, but also listening to others with an open mind. Good communication means being able to articulate your thoughts and emotions in a way that others can understand, and also being attentive to their responses and needs. For instance, during a disagreement, emotional intelligence helps you communicate your point of view calmly while also being receptive to the other person's perspective. This balanced approach can help resolve conflicts and strengthen relationships. Emotional intelligence also involves social skills. Social skills are about interacting well with others, managing relationships, and navigating social complexities. This includes skills like teamwork, conflict resolution, and building rapport. When you have high emotional intelligence, you're better at collaborating with others, resolving disputes, and creating a positive environment. For example, if you're leading a project, strong social skills help you motivate your team, address any issues that arise, and celebrate successes together. Building emotional intelligence starts with practice and self-reflection. One way to enhance your emotional intelligence is by keeping a journal of your emotions and experiences. Write down how you're feeling in different situations and reflect on why you might be feeling that way. This practice can help you identify patterns in your emotions and reactions, leading to greater self-awareness. Another way to develop emotional intelligence is through mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present and tune into your emotions without getting overwhelmed by them. By practicing mindfulness, you can become more aware of your emotional states and respond to them more effectively. Simple mindfulness exercises, like focusing on your breath or observing your thoughts without judgment, can improve your emotional awareness and regulation. Empathy can be cultivated by actively listening to others and showing genuine interest in their feelings and experiences. Practice asking open-ended questions and really listening to the answers. Try to understand not just the words being said, but also the emotions behind them. This can help you connect more deeply with others and build stronger relationships. Developing social skills involves putting yourself in various social situations and practicing your communication and relationship-building abilities. Engage in conversations, participate in group activities, and take on leadership roles where you can practice teamwork and conflict resolution. The more you practice these skills, the more natural they will become. Remember that emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait but a set of skills that can be developed over time. It requires ongoing effort and a willingness to learn and grow. Be patient with yourself as you work on building your emotional intelligence. Celebrate your progress and keep striving to improve. Chapter 6. Self-Compassion. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend. It's about being gentle with yourself when you make mistakes or face difficulties, rather than being harsh or critical. Embracing self-compassion means acknowledging your imperfections with warmth and acceptance, rather than judgment. Imagine you have a friend who's going through a tough time. You'd likely offer them a listening ear, words of encouragement, and a comforting hug. Now, think about how you treat yourself in similar situations. Do you offer yourself the same kindness, or are you quick to criticize and berate yourself? Many of us are much harder on ourselves than we would be on others. Self-compassion invites you to change that pattern and be as supportive to yourself as you would be to a loved one. One of the first steps in practicing self-compassion is recognizing when you're being self-critical. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. When you make a mistake or fall short of your expectations, what do you say to yourself? Do you think, "I'm such a failure," or "I can't believe I messed up again"? These kinds of thoughts can be really harsh and damaging. Self-compassion involves catching those negative thoughts and replacing them with kinder, more understanding ones. For instance, if you didn't meet a work deadline, instead of thinking, "I'm so irresponsible," you might say to yourself, "I did my best, and sometimes things don't go as planned. I can learn from this experience and try to improve next time." This shift in perspective helps you respond to setbacks with empathy and encouragement rather than self-criticism. Another important aspect of self-compassion is recognizing that you're not alone in your struggles. Everyone makes mistakes and faces challenges. This is a universal experience. When you're going through a difficult time, remind yourself that it's part of being human. You're not the only one who has ever felt this way, and it doesn't mean you're flawed or unworthy. By acknowledging that others have similar experiences, you can feel more connected and less isolated in your struggles. Self-compassion also involves treating yourself with kindness and care, just as you would for someone you care about. This can mean taking time to relax and recharge, engaging in activities that bring you joy, or simply giving yourself a break when you need it. For example, if you've had a particularly challenging day, you might allow yourself some quiet time to unwind or enjoy a favorite hobby. This kind of self-care is an important part of self-compassion because it helps you nurture and support yourself. A common barrier to self-compassion is the fear that being kind to yourself might lead to complacency or laziness. Some people worry that if they're too gentle on themselves, they won't push themselves to grow or improve. However, self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook or avoiding responsibility. It's about providing yourself with the support and encouragement you need to overcome challenges and continue growing. When you treat yourself with compassion, you're more likely to approach difficulties with a positive and proactive attitude, rather than being overwhelmed by self-doubt or negativity. Practicing self-compassion can be particularly helpful in moments of failure or rejection. Instead of beating yourself up over a missed opportunity or a setback, try to offer yourself comfort and encouragement. You might say to yourself, "It's okay to feel disappointed. This doesn't define who I am, and I have the strength to move forward." By adopting this compassionate mindset, you can bounce back more quickly and with greater resilience. One effective way to cultivate self-compassion is through mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you stay present with your emotions and recognize them without judgment. When you're mindful of your feelings, you can approach them with curiosity and understanding, rather than reacting with self-criticism. Simple mindfulness practices, like focusing on your breath or observing your thoughts, can help you develop a more compassionate relationship with yourself. Another helpful practice is to write yourself a letter of self-compassion. In this letter, address yourself as if you were writing to a dear friend who is struggling. Offer words of kindness, understanding, and encouragement. Reflect on what you're going through and remind yourself that you deserve compassion and support. This exercise can help you internalize the practice of self-compassion and reinforce a positive self-image. Chapter 7: Resilience. Resilience is like the inner strength that helps us bounce back from life's challenges. It's the ability to adapt and recover when things don't go as planned or when we face difficulties. Life is full of ups and downs, and resilience is what allows us to keep going even when things get tough. It's not about never feeling down or stressed, but about having the tools and mindset to navigate through those rough patches and come out stronger on the other side. Imagine resilience as a muscle. Just like physical strength, it can be built and strengthened over time through practice and experience. When you face obstacles or setbacks, you have a chance to exercise this muscle. Each challenge you overcome adds to your resilience, helping you handle future difficulties with greater ease. One of the key components of resilience is having a positive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is okay when it's not. Instead, it's about maintaining hope and optimism even in the face of adversity. For instance, if you're going through a tough time at work, focusing on what you can learn from the experience and believing that you will get through it can help you stay motivated and move forward. Resilience also involves accepting that change and setbacks are a part of life. Instead of resisting or wishing things were different, resilience helps you embrace the reality of the situation and adapt to it. For example, if you're dealing with a sudden job loss, resilience means acknowledging the loss and finding ways to cope with it rather than dwelling on what went wrong. It's about being flexible and open to new possibilities, even when they are not what you expected. Another important aspect of resilience is having a strong support system. When you're going through tough times, having friends, family, or colleagues who offer support and encouragement can make a big difference. Resilience doesn't mean going through challenges alone. It means reaching out for help when you need it and leaning on your support network. Sometimes just talking to someone who understands what you're going through can provide comfort and perspective. Self-care plays a crucial role in building and maintaining resilience. Taking care of your physical and emotional well-being helps you stay strong in the face of challenges. This can include regular exercise, healthy eating, and getting enough sleep. It also means taking time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation, whether it's reading a book, going for a walk, or practicing a hobby. When you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to handle stress and bounce back from difficulties. Resilience is also about problem solving and finding ways to overcome obstacles. When faced with a challenge, it's helpful to break it down into smaller, manageable steps. This can make the problem feel less overwhelming and help you come up with a plan to address it. For example, if you're dealing with financial stress, creating a budget and seeking advice from a financial expert can help you manage the situation more effectively. Developing resilience involves building skills and strategies to cope with stress and adversity. One effective strategy is to practice mindfulness, which helps you stay present and manage your reactions to stress. Mindfulness can help you remain calm and focused, even in difficult situations. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and paying attention to your thoughts and feelings can all support your resilience. Another important skill is maintaining a sense of purpose and goals. Having something to strive for can provide motivation and direction even during challenging times. Whether it's a personal goal, a professional aspiration, or a passion project, having a clear sense of purpose can help you stay focused and resilient. It gives you something positive to work toward, even when you're facing obstacles. It's also helpful to reflect on past experiences and recognize how you've overcome challenges before. Reminding yourself of times when you've been resilient in the past can boost your confidence and remind you that you have the strength to handle current difficulties. By acknowledging your previous successes, you can build a sense of trust in your ability to navigate through tough times. Resilience is not about being invincible or never feeling overwhelmed. It's about acknowledging your feelings, accepting the challenges you face, and finding ways to move forward. It's okay to feel sad, frustrated, or anxious during difficult times. The important thing is to allow yourself to experience those emotions, seek support when needed, and take proactive steps to address the situation. Building resilience is a journey that takes time and effort. It's about developing a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. As you work on strengthening your resilience, you'll find that you're better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. You'll gain confidence in your ability to overcome obstacles and emerge from difficult situations with a greater sense of strength and resilience. Chapter 8. Letting Go. Letting go is a crucial part of finding peace and happiness in life. It's about releasing the things that weigh you down, whether they're past hurts, regrets, or worries about the future. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring. It means accepting and moving forward, freeing yourself from the grip of negative emotions and thoughts that hold you back. Think of letting go as a way to lighten your emotional load. Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents a worry, a grudge, or a painful memory. The more stones you add, the heavier the backpack becomes. Letting go is like setting down that backpack, allowing yourself to feel lighter and more at ease. One of the first steps in letting go is acknowledging what you need to release. This might be a past relationship that still affects you, a mistake you made, or an unresolved conflict. Start by identifying what's holding you back. Reflect on how these issues impact your life and how they might be preventing you from moving forward. Understanding what you need to let go of is crucial to the process. It's important to understand that letting go doesn't mean you have to like or agree with what happened. It's about finding a way to accept the situation and move on. For example, if you've had a falling out with a friend, letting go means accepting that the friendship has changed or ended, and finding a way to make peace with that reality. It doesn't mean you have to forget the friendship or pretend it didn't matter, but rather that you're choosing to let go of the pain and move forward. Another key part of letting go is forgiving yourself and others. Forgiveness is a powerful tool that can help you release negative emotions and find peace. Forgiving someone who has hurt you doesn't mean you condone their actions. It means you're choosing to release the hold that anger or resentment has on you. Similarly, forgiving yourself for past mistakes allows you to learn and grow without being weighed down by guilt. Practicing mindfulness can be a helpful way to support the process of letting go. Mindfulness involves staying present and observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you're mindful, you can become more aware of the negative emotions or thoughts that you're holding on to and gently let them pass. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about something from the past, mindfulness helps you recognize the anxiety without getting caught up in it, allowing you to let go more easily. Letting go also involves changing your perspective. Often, we hold on to things because we believe they define us or because we fear that letting go means we're losing a part of ourselves. In reality, letting go can be an act of self-empowerment and growth. By releasing what no longer serves you, you create space for new experiences and opportunities. Embracing this perspective helps you see letting go as a positive and freeing process rather than a loss. Setting boundaries is another important aspect of letting go. If certain people or situations continually bring you stress or negative emotions, it might be necessary to establish limits to protect your well-being. Setting boundaries allows you to take control of your emotional health and create a more positive environment for yourself. For example, if a particular relationship is causing you pain, setting boundaries might involve limiting your interactions or distancing yourself to preserve your mental health. Sometimes, the process of letting go involves grief. It's normal to feel sadness, frustration, or even anger when you're letting go of something that once mattered to you. Allow yourself to experience these emotions fully. Acknowledge that it's okay to grieve and that it's a natural part of moving forward. By allowing yourself to feel and process these emotions, you can eventually reach a place of acceptance and peace. Taking small, deliberate steps can make the process of letting go more manageable. You don't have to let go of everything all at once. Start with small actions that help you release the weight of what's holding you back. This might be writing down your thoughts and feelings, talking to a trusted friend, or engaging in activities that help you move forward. Each small step can help you gradually release the burdens and find a greater sense of freedom. Self-care is also an important part of letting go. Taking care of yourself emotionally and physically helps you build resilience and find balance as you navigate the process. Engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, whether it's spending time in nature, practicing a hobby, or enjoying a calming routine. By nurturing yourself, you create a positive foundation that supports your journey of letting go. Remember that letting go is a journey, not a destination. It's okay if it takes time and effort to release what's holding you back. Be patient with yourself and recognize that progress may come in small, gradual steps. The goal is to create a sense of freedom and peace within yourself, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart and a more open mind. In the end, letting go is about freeing yourself from the emotional baggage that holds you back. It's about accepting the past, forgiving yourself and others, and creating space for new possibilities. By embracing the process of letting go, you allow yourself to live more fully in the present and open yourself to the joy and opportunities that lie ahead.